It is Tuesday, July 28th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. Late last week, the World of Outlaws announced more changes and additions to the 2020 schedule, and I wanted to go back and make sure I covered off on those. The Outlaws were supposed to run Friday night this week at Attica, but local regulations forced the cancellation of that event. The series will now head to Wayne County Speedway on Saturday, August 1st, and then to Plymouth Speedway in Indiana on Sunday, August 2nd. It will be the Outlaws' first trip to Wayne County since 1985, and that's a track that fans in Ohio have been begging the Outlaws to come to for years, so hopefully that will be a good show. Following the Ironman weekend at Pevely, then August 7th and 8th, and the trip to Knoxville August 13th through 15th, the Outlaws head north to River Cities and Red River Valley Speedway in North Dakota August 21st and 22nd, and then the end of the month of August, the Outlaws will take on US 36 Raceway in Missouri on August 29th and I-80 Speedway in Nebraska on August 30th. September includes a new weekend at the reopened Houston Speedway on September 5th and 6th, I-70 Motorsports Park on September 11th and 12th, Lawton Speedway in Texas on September 18th, and Devil's Bowl Speedway on September 19th. If you'd like to see the full remaining World of Outlaws schedule, you can find that at worldofoutlaws.com or woosprint.com. Certainly plenty of racing left. Like I mentioned on the schedule yesterday, if everything, or as I mentioned on the show yesterday, if everything on the schedule goes off as it is originally scheduled right now, there's 27 features left in the season, and we've run 27 features up to this point. So exactly at the halfway mark, as long as everything goes to plan here over the rest of the year. So certainly plenty of racing left, and a lot can still happen with that series. So stay tuned for that. The only race on last night's streaming schedule was the Mike Colson Memorial Modified Show up at 5 Mile Point Speedway in New York. Stuart Friesen led all 51 laps en route to the win over Dan Creedon, Justin Holland, Sean Walker, and Brian Malcolm. With all the COVID restrictions in the Northeast, it feels like the racing season up there has just been really disjointed. I haven't talked about it as much as I was hoping to talk about it, but there's just been so many cancellations and so many changes. It's hard to keep up even with what's going on. You know, there have been some local shows certainly, but the Super DIRTRACKR Series and the Short Track Super Series have lost good portions of their schedules to cancellations and postponements. The Super DIRTRACKR Series hasn't even run a points-paying race yet. They are scheduled to return to action this coming Wednesday at Bridgeport Motorsports Park. That will hopefully be the first points-paying event of the year, but certainly have lost a ton of races from that schedule. If you want to watch that Super DIRTRACKR Series race, you can watch it live on Flow Racing. Hopefully, as things continue to get better, and some of those tracks are able to open and maybe get some of those races in. Hopefully there'll be more to talk about up there, because I would certainly like to cover off on more of that. But obviously with the Super DIRTRACKR Series effectively not existing up to this point this year, there's just not a whole lot to talk about. So hopefully more of that to come in the future. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series is back tonight to kick off a busy stretch of racing that includes 7 races in a 12-day stretch. After tonight at Davenport Speedway, the series heads Friday and Saturday to Kokomo Speedway, which was this was, I believe, the original Parade Dirt Classic weekend, but that event was moved over to Kokomo, effectively moved over to Kokomo. Then they head to Beaver Dam next Tuesday, and then the stretch caps off with 3 nights at Cedar Lake Speedway for the USA Nationals, August 6th through the 8th. Brandon Shepard continues to lead the point standings over Ricky Weiss, and he's been on a tear lately, finishing first or second 8 times in the past 9 races on the tour. His average finish over the previous 5 races is 1.2, and he's coming off that big $53,000 win at the Silver Dollar Nationals with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series over the weekend. Tonight's race at Davenport pays $10,000 to win and will allow fans in the stands. With the Outlaws being the only series in action tonight, I would expect hopefully a fairly decent field of cars there. I saw on Twitter this morning that Jimmy Owens will be in attendance. So again, hopefully some other guys will be there as well. But no Summer Nationals tonight. Southern Nationals is done. So World of Outlaws is basically the only thing racing tonight. Looking at the DIRTRACKR.com analytics prediction formula, Shepard is the overwhelming favorite tonight. He won about 16% of the simulated races run. That's a fairly sizable margin. Over the course of us doing these predictions, that's a pretty big number. In the series' last 3 trips at Davenport, Shepard has 2 wins and a second. Jimmy Owens is second on the list, winning about 5.5% of the simulated races run. Owens will be looking to rebound after a tough outing Saturday night at I-80 that saw him retire with mechanical issues. If you're looking for some other names to keep an eye on tonight, Ricky Weiss, Cade Dillard, and Darrell Lanigan have all been good as of late. Weiss has 8 straight top 10 finishes, including back-to-back third-place runs in his last 2 races. Lanigan has 9 straight top 10s, including a win on July 18th at Red River Valley. And Dillard has 6 top 5 finishes in his last 10 races, including a win at the Firecracker at Lernerville and 4 second-place runs as well. Should be a fun one tonight. You can watch all of the action live on Dirt Vision with your Fast Pass. We'll be back tomorrow to recap all of the action and get you ready for the rest of the week. Last night was round number 6 of the iRacing World of Outlaws Late Model World Championship, with the series taking on Kokomo Speedway. 1 week ago, it was Hayden Cardwell becoming the first multi-time winner this season, and he entered the night as the points leader over Dylan Wilson and Evan C. But the 3 drivers at the top of the point standings were only separated by 8 points. In the night's feature, it was Wilson who started on the pole, and he led from the start. Cardwell started from the 15th position, so he faced an uphill battle to try and maintain the points lead, with both Wilson and C starting in the top 5. Wilson was strong out front, and he built a sizable lead in the early going. Behind him, James Edens was maybe the fastest car on the track, and he moved up from his 4th starting position, and he settled into 2nd. Racing further back in the top 10 was really wild. Drivers 4 wide for laps at a time. Pretty crazy stuff. Action was fairly clean for much of the race, though, but a caution on lap 35 bunched the field up and gave Edens the opportunity he needed to make a move on Wilson. On the restart, he rolled the high side and was able to clear Dylan Wilson for that top spot. Over the final laps, Edens drove away from the field and grabbed his first win of the season by 1.2 seconds over Wilson. Kevin Dedman was 3rd, Alex Bergeron 4th, and Devin Morgan finished in 5th. Hayden Cardwell rallied from 15th to finish 7th. With 4 rounds now remaining, Wilson is back to the points lead, with Cardwell back to 2nd and Evan C. 3rd. Still very tight at the top between those 3, though, with only 15 points separating them. Next week, the series heads to the virtual Fairbury Speedway for round 7. You can watch live for free at iRacing.com/live or twitch.com/iRacing. I mentioned during Ohio Sprint Speed Week that Flow Racing was following different drivers each night and putting out all access videos, which were super fun to watch. They ended up with videos for Aaron Reitzel, Corey Eliason, Greg Wilson, Zeb Wise, and Paul McMahon. Since then, they've added a bunch more videos. They went ahead and did an all access video with Tyler Carpenter as he ran some Summer Nationals races. That was really fun. And now they're following drivers running Indiana Sprint Week. The first video followed Thomas Meserol at Gas City. That was put out a couple of days ago, and the newest edition put out yesterday follows Chris Windham at Kokomo. So if you're looking for something to watch today or this week, maybe kill 15 or 20 minutes, check out some of those videos. They are really fun. Obviously, you have to be a Flow subscriber to watch those as well, but definitely would recommend checking those out. Jumping over to today's pay-per-view schedule, today's streaming schedule, there is, 4 shows on the schedule, including the Outlaws tonight at Davenport Speedway on Dirt Vision. Flow Racing has a pair of shows, weekly racing from Action Track USA and the IMCA Dirt Nights Tour from Hancock County Speedway. They also have USAC 24/7 as well. And then Racing Dirt has Mod Mania tonight from the Mason City Motor Speedway. So plenty of things to watch tonight if you're looking for a little bit of racing. Plus plenty of on-demand content across the streaming platforms available now. That's like my favorite thing. And something I've started doing is, it's so hard to keep up with some of these things, as they're going on live the night of, and with multiple shows going on, and trying to fit in some family time and all of these things. It's been really nice that these races are put back up, within an hour or 2 of the end of the program, because then the next morning I can go back and just watch the parts I want to watch, the feature, maybe check out some heat race action, whatever. So kudos to the streaming services for getting that worked out and getting these races up as quickly as they can afterwards, because it's kind of a game changer. You can kind of watch them when you're ready to watch them. So I've been enjoying that lately as well. I wanted to quickly mention the All-Star portion of the analytics section of DIRTRACKR.com. All 2020 races are in and being updated regularly, as they happen. But this week I started adding 2019 races as well. I've got 15 shows added to the database so far, and I'm going to continue adding more this week. The series is back racing on Thursday. They have a busy weekend ahead of them, and I'd like to start doing some all-star predictions along with the Outlaw picks I'm doing each week. I waited to start doing those all-star predictions because I had so few races and so little data, to really kind of get those predictions, kind of gathered from. But adding the 2019 races will start giving me a bunch more races, obviously, to kind of pick through. So once we have, I would like to actually have the full 2019 schedule, and once we have that, then we can start doing some all-star predictions. If you want to see that full complement of all-star results and stats, you can find that at dirttracker.com/analytics/all-star. So plenty of stuff to pick through there. That's the show for today. I hope everybody has a good Tuesday. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe and leave a review. You can also watch the show every day on YouTube and Facebook. You can email the show at info@dirttracker.com, and you can follow along at facebook.com/dirttracker, twitter.com/dirttracker, and the website itself, dirttracker.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and don't forget to sign up for the DIRTRACKR weekly newsletter. That's it for the show today. Hope everybody has a good Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow for more DIRTRACKR Daily.